What's going on, guys? So today I'm gonna tear apart my TCR and dye the pieces. I'm not gonna show me unscrewing everything and like pulling everything apart because that'll just turn into like a super long video, and I've already done that like 3 or 4 times. So I'm gonna use this dark green RIT dye. I've already used it before. I have a liter or so in the pantry over here, already like pre-mixed, and I kind of made it a little bit too dark. So I used about half this bottle, and I put about a liter of water, and I'm using this old pan. This pan I don't care about, so if it gets stained or whatever, I don't care because I don't use this to cook with. And yeah, I'm going to take this apart. I'll show you guys how to take this piece by piece apart, and some of this part because it's a little bit difficult to get in there. And key parts of removing these I'll show, but me just taking all the screws out, I'm not going to show because I've already done it before. So yeah, I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I took off all the screws. I took off this front piece. I took the barrel off. All that is over here. So from this point, you're going to to get this orange CO2 chamber pierce area housing thing, you're gonna have to push that pin in the middle of the screen. You're gonna push it down, and the pin should pop out. So I'm gonna push this down, and since I've done this one time, it's not as tight as it used to be, and you can just put the pin over there, and then this should come out. So there's a couple pieces of metal we have to take out of this. I wasn't able to remove this adjuster thing on mine, and I didn't want to break it, so you can remove the this adjuster and this little dark black screw in here. You can remove that pretty easily. It's just hard to take this piece out. So I'll show you that in a second. And I'm going to flip this over while it's still together. I'm clamping down on it with my hands, but we have to remove these set screws. This is all the same Allen key, 1/8 inch. So yeah, I'm flipping this over. I'm gonna remove this part, and then we'll have the two front pieces of orange that we don't want orange anymore. You can dye this like dark red, blue, or whatever, like a lot of different colors. And the only thing that you have to worry about is if you want to go lighter, you probably can't, because there's always going to be this orange hue to the whatever color you choose. So if you choose a dark color, it's probably the easiest to hide the orange. But if you're trying to do like yellow or like baby blue or like pink or something, you're gonna have a little bit of orange bleeding through. So I got those two pieces off. I'm gonna open this up, and then I'll probably start recording again once I pop it open and disassemble it. All right, you guys. So I took the shell off. I put the top shell over there. I disconnected the gas line, and if you want to see how to do this more in depth, I have like 3 videos of installing different shape breech to this, putting a remote line adapter right here, and yeah, I'll try to link them in the description so you can see like a more detailed breakdown. I just don't want to make this video super long, so I have the valve right here and the buttstock, so you could slide this out. So I'm putting my finger right here. Sorry, it's not coming up on camera. I'm putting my finger right here, and I'm pulling the stock out, and it should just come out. You might have to lift it up a little bit, lift this piece up a little bit, because the stock attaches right here. So now we have our 3 orange pieces that we want to dye, and I'm just going to put the main TCR off to the side because we're not doing anything with that in this video. And I'll get to these pieces. So these screws, I just placed them over here on the table up here, and I think they're the same length as the top rail. Yeah, they're the same length as the top rail, the screws that go up here. So you can mix and match those. I do like to keep them all separate where they're supposed to be, so I'm just going to leave those over there by the side. And so for this one, this uses a I think it's 3/32 screw, and this is to adjust the CO2. You're gonna put pressure forward or back, depending if it automatically punctures when you set it in here. So this has like a little bit of Loctite, I think, to prevent you from taking it out all the way. And you can do it without taking it out all the way, taking this set screw out. You can do this, but you kind of run the risk of getting a little bit of rust and stuff later. And I do try to like shake these off and dry them off and like heat them a little bit to get rid of all the moisture. And mine's still okay. But yeah, so this screw is out now. I'm going to place it. It's just a set screw. I'm going to place it over here. There's a little bit of a thread lock on it right there, that yellow stuff. And then this nut is inside this little opening right here. So it just goes in right there. And then when you reassemble it, you put that nut in, you put this in, you don't cross thread it, you put it in there and you're good to go. This part I tried taking apart on mine and I felt like I was gonna like break it or strip threads or whatever. So whenever I dye this, I only stick this part into the water. And I'm gonna start with these because they're the shallow ones. And then I'm gonna add more water and or RIT dye to the mixture when I put this in because it's a lot taller. You can see from this side angle. So I'm only basically dyeing the front of this so that it doesn't appear orange anymore. So like I'm just trying to make this like only dipped in about halfway or a third of the way dipped. This one there's no metal in this one anymore, so I could just completely submerge this one. And I'll show you guys how to dye it. You don't want to leave it in the same spot too long because it's going to be in a hot pan on top of the stove that's getting constant heat. So those ones are ready to go, and then we have to disassemble this thing. So this is like a little cheek I don't know, cheek razor thing. It's just like a pad you can rest your side of your face on where you're using the stock. So you just undo this. That comes off really easy. There's a screw on the back. You can pull this out, and that comes off really easy. And then you can pull this whole thing off. There's like a little lip right here on that side and on this side. So this one might be a little bit of a struggle, but you just have to like get your finger, pop it off on one side, and then so it's like it's off that little plastic that's inside here, and then you do the same thing on this one, but whenever you pull this up it's going to want to push back down. So either get your nail under there on the bottom side, on this side, keep it from coming off or pushing back down, and then get another fingernail, or if you have like a pry tool or something, you can use a screwdriver, but you might end up marking this. If you don't care that much, then use a screwdriver. But I'm not trying to get this all scratched up and stuff. So yeah, you just keep working at this for a little bit and it'll pop off eventually. And I stuck the back part back on, but now the front part came off. So yeah, you just gotta struggle a little bit with this. So yeah, see how this side's off now, but now my back side's back on. So yeah, I'm just gonna be screwing around with this for a second. Hopefully it won't take me that long. The last time it took me like 5 minutes to pop this part off I'm uncomfortable doing this right now because I have the camera in my face and stuff, so I might stop recording maybe to get it out of here. So I kind of got it off. So it's off now. This piece is off. It's a good idea to remember which way it's oriented, but you can't really like put this backwards because it won't fit, because this part, it's angled this way and this hole is not angled that way. So we're gonna dye that. We have some more pieces in here. You will have to take this off. This uses an 1/8 inch Allen key, just like a majority of the TCR. So there's a screw in here and a nut on the back side, like a socket screw head. So we're just gonna loosen that up and then loosen this one up. And yeah, so I'm just gonna undo this and then I'm gonna record again. All right, guys, I took those screws out. So this is empty now. This will come off easily. And you can push this part out. It just pops out. There's 2 nuts in here, so make sure that they don't fall out. They should be good. I haven't had very many of the nuts fall out. And there's one last thing we have to remove. So in here, this is to adjust the buttstock so it slides in and out. The easiest way I found to do this is to push down on the let me fix my camera really quick. All right, yeah, so this thing, you actually just get your finger in there and you pull it out. It shouldn't put up too much of a fight. So yeah, just fingernail or a screwdriver if you don't mind marking it, And then just make sure that this thing's cool. There's some grease in there. This is all stock, like I haven't taken this apart yet. So that was from the factory with that grease in there. So I'm going to put all these parts for the buttstock in one little area. And there's nothing else in here you can remove. I don't know how to get to this metal piece in here. And like I said, what I do is I just, after I'm done dyeing it, I shake it out and get a heat gun, kind of hit it a little bit with the heat gun to make sure that it's nice and dry to minimize rust or whatever. There may be a little bit of parts that don't dye very well that are like in this little section. So if this doesn't fit in your pan that you're using, I think it fits in mine. You can always just, yeah, this doesn't fit in my pan. So I'm going to have to put that stock button thing back in here and then make it so that it fits in the pan better. So I'm probably going to close this like at least that much. I'm going to check if this fits in my pan. So there might be a little bit of stock that doesn't get dyed. And if you have a giant pan, you can use a giant pan. This is the only pan I have that I want to basically like sacrifice, I guess, to get stained and dye and stuff in it. So from here to here will stay completely orange, dark green RIT dye. And then from here to here, there might be some spots that don't get dyed as good because there's not much space in there, like to allow the dye to go in and out. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. If you have a really big pan, you have no problem doing this, like extending the stock out all the way. But if you have a sort of skinnier pan like mine, that may be an issue. So I'm going to get my RIT dye stuff that I already have mixed. I'll be right back. All right, you guys, this is my like pre-mixed RIT dye. It was basically half that RIT dye bottle and like a liter of water. So if you want it dark, use more of this. If you want it light, like if you're using red or pink or purple or something, use like a quarter of the bottle. You can always re-dye it and make it darker, but you can't remove dye and make it lighter. So start off light if you're not sure how dark it's going to get, and then add more RIT dye or let it soak longer. I've only RIT dyed like, I guess, 2 HDP 50 slides and 1 Byrna TCR stock and these other miscellaneous pieces. So this is like the fourth marker and random parts that I've dyed before. So yeah, I'm just gonna dump this in the pan, and I mean, you don't really need to see that, so I'm just gonna try to one-hand this. Well, actually, one second. And you're gonna want like a pad or something disposable that you don't mind getting dirty. I just use like old advertisements for grocery stores and stuff. So I have this open, I'm pouring it in there. Obviously wear clothes or something that you don't care if they get splashed. You're not going to want to clean off your like white socks or white shoes or something. So that's pretty good enough for this. I kind of put a little bit too much, but that's fine. I'll just pat it off and dry it. So I'm going to heat up this water. You want it to be like at a boil, and then turn it down to like medium heat. So turned on my stove burner. I have a gas burner, so you can see the fire down there. And I'm just going to give this probably like a couple minutes till it boils, and then I'm going to turn it to medium. So I'll be right back. All right, you guys, it's getting there. It's been about 6 minutes or so. You don't have to stir this, but I just stir it just to make sure that it's staying like uniform and consistent, and I don't have like random little like pockets of dark green dye. I doubt that will happen. So just stir this around a little bit. It's on almost max on my stove, and I'm gonna get the plastic ready pretty soon. And the longer you dye it, the more rich that color is gonna look. And then yeah, obviously if you don't want it to be too dark, don't use a lot of this. Use like an eighth of the bottle or a quarter of the bottle and whatever amount of water, because you can always make it darker, but you can't remove the RIT dye once it's in there. Not that I know of. And like I said, I'm sort of new at doing this. I haven't done it like an extensive amount. I don't have like hundreds of things I've RIT dyed. I've only RIT dyed about 10 or 12 pieces of plastic to make them from orange to super dark green. So yeah, just give this a little bit more time, and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, it was almost boiling, so that's a good time to turn it down to like medium or low. And I'm gonna do one piece at a time because I have the camera in my other hand, and I'll just start with this one. So I'm gonna dunk it all the way, and the bottom of the tongs is hitting the bottom of the pan. So I'm just gonna time this for about 5 minutes. It's 610 on that microwave over there. So I'll be doing this for a couple minutes, and I'll show you guys how it turns out. So this is all you have to do. Just keep moving the plastic around. Don't let it touch the bottom, and time it for, at least like 4 or 5 minutes. You can do 10 minutes. If you just want this thing to be super dark, you go ahead and do like 10 minutes, but keep it moving. Don't stop moving this plastic. If it falls and you let it go for a little bit, it's okay, but don't leave it for like 10 minutes in there, or even like a minute. Just kind of keep it moving, and like it'll start taking color after about 2 or 3 minutes. So yeah, this is all you have to do. There's no extra chemicals, just water and RIT dye. And yeah, so I'm gonna pause it, and I'll be back once about 3 or 4 minutes passes. All right, guys, it's been about 6 minutes almost. Once I take this out, it'll be about 6 minutes, and it's coming out pretty good. You can see that it's almost dark. I might have to add a little bit more RIT dye to it to make it really dark, and yeah, I'll be right back. All right, guys, so it's been about 7 or 8 minutes. This can get darker. It's pretty good right now. I'll probably let it chill for a little bit, and put the next piece in, and you just kind of repeat this process over and over and over until all of them are dyed. For the bigger pieces, you do have to like move it around and then flip it over in the middle of doing it, like every couple minutes, and then you'll see one side getting dark with the RIT dye and the other side staying orange, and then eventually they'll both kind of even out. So this big piece might take like 10 minutes or so. But yeah, you can always just extend the amount of time that it's in the pan and keep moving it around, and eventually it'll get like super dark if you just want this thing to be like straight up black, or like really really dark blue, or super dark red, or whatever. So yeah, I'm just gonna work my way through these pieces, and then I'll probably just show you guys when I dunk it in there, and then when I take it out. And yeah, it's pretty simple. So I'll be back. All right, guys, this is that one piece with the metal stuff in it. So I'm just gonna keep it like hovering above the bottom of the plate, and you can get it a little bit submerged in there. Right now, if I leave it like that, it's not gonna get too full of dye and stuff. I just don't want to get too much moisture on these metal parts, and they're kind of a pain in the butt to get out of there. And I don't want to break this because Byrna doesn't sell replacement parts, and I have found some places that have some of the replacement plastic, but they don't sell the replacement metal hardware that goes in there. So as always, do this at your own risk. If you're under warranty with your TCR and you don't mind it being orange, just keep it orange and don't screw around with it. But yeah, I'm going to be doing this for about 6 or 7 minutes, and yeah, until it's about 6:30. So I will be back in about 7 minutes. All right, you guys, so it was about 6 or 7 minutes with the second piece, and since you're only seeing the front, you don't really need like the whole thing to be dipped in the RIT dye, because you're only seeing this part from the outside, and when you open it, you'll see a little bit of orange, but that's only when it's cracked open. Yeah, this will be a little bit orange, but it'll be pretty much tucked away. No one's going to notice that it's orange. Only you will notice that it's orange. I mean, you can dunk this whole thing if you want, but I'm not recommending it just based on the fact that I haven't done it myself, and I don't want you to cause you guys damage to your like metal parts that are in here, like specifically these, because these adjust the CO2 and how much pressure is pushing up against the puncture area. So I'm gonna dunk this whole thing in here. I'm gonna put more of this pre-made water RIT dye mixture, because it's a lot taller than those other pieces. So I'll need more of this, more volume of water in the pan. So I'm gonna add some of this to it, and let it, get up to temperature again, because this is cooling it down slightly. And then once this starts boiling again, I will dunk the stock in there and then get back at it. So I'm probably just gonna do it off camera. I don't want you guys to just be watching this, and I mean, it's the same thing. I'm just dunking this in there, stirring it around, flip this over after like 2 or 3 minutes, stir it around, flip it over for 2 or 3 minutes. That's why this one takes longer, because you have to keep flipping it over. If I had like a giant pan for like boiling crabs or something in, or like a big like saucepan, like a giant freaking pan full of RIT dye, I would just dunk this in there and let it boil and like stir it around. But this is what I'm using. So if you have a big old pan that can fit like 2 gallons of water in it or something, go right ahead. But this is what I have. So I'll be back in a little bit. All right, you guys. I think the stock took like 10 minutes or so to dye, and I had to add water, and I had to add a little bit of RIT dye to it because it was kind of like thinning out. So I shook this up. It's always good to shake this because it settles. So shake this up, pour a little bit extra. You don't really have to measure it. Just pour like a dash in there. And I had to reheat. Basically, I reheat all of my pieces because I wanted them to be like somewhat uniform. They all looked pretty good before I added water and RIT dye to them, but I just wanted to make them more uniform because this is for my brother, and yeah, I just wanted it to look nice. It does not matter that this part isn't completely green or dark green, because it's going to be inside the marker. The part that you will see is basically from here onward. So I'm just double checking this to make sure that it's like decently dyed. It could probably use a little bit longer, so I might hit this piece a little bit longer for like another like 5 or 10 minutes. It just takes a while. So I started at like 6:10 and now it's 7:25, 7:26. So yeah, I'm gonna dunk this in there a little bit longer, and then after you're done dyeing them, put them on this to cool off, or a rag or whatever you have that you don't mind getting RIT dye on it, because this is not going to come out. And let it cool off for like 5 minutes or so, and then you're gonna want to rinse it off with tap water, because this will stay like clinged on or whatever. So if I was to grab this with my hand, I'm gonna get like RIT dye stuff on my fingers. So take it to the sink, use like the tongs or whatever, take it over to the sink, rinse it off. You'll see a bunch of like the colored water coming off of it, but this looks pretty good. And yeah, I'm gonna hit this one more time for about like 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna reassemble the marker once everything's dry and stuff. So I'll be back. All right, guys. So I rehit all these. This was the freshest one. I rinsed it off in the sink after letting it cool down for 2 or 3 minutes. So you just run water on it until you can pretty much like rinse it off, and then shake the water off. And if you see dye coming off that water, rinse it off with water again until all that water comes out clean, like where it doesn't have a discolored, green or orange or blue or whatever color RIT dye you're using. Rinse it off until that stops being discolored, so like till it runs clean, like so it's just clear water coming off of it. So these are pretty much good. I'm going to let them dry for a little bit, and then hit the metal pieces with a heat gun, shake it around and stuff, get all the moisture I can out of it before reassembling it. So I'm gonna pick this back up in about an hour or something. I'm gonna eat dinner and stuff, so probably like at 8:40 or like 9 o'clock or something like that. I'm gonna reassemble the TCR, and then yeah, that'll pretty much wrap up the video. So I'll be back in like an hour.